So, I mean, I've seen that you've been nominated to like Badass Women in Music and all these other things. So I guess you guys are doing very well. How's like the response been so far to the site?
Yes, I'm now officially a badass. Yeah, the response is, I mean, the response is honestly, Dario, it's really good. Like, this is my first like startup, and not all startups are a good idea. And I just have never felt once since I started like that this was not a big need, that this was not kind of the way that that our solution can solve all these problems. Like it just feels the reaction has always been every time I talk to an artist or a producer on the phone, it's just always so like, man, this could have saved me so much heartache, or, oh man, this is my first time doing this. I wouldn't even know where to start without you. Like, producers, like I told you before, just saying, I don't even call myself a producer anymore because I'm up against like having to battle with all of these amateurs. Like, just, I just think it just feels like it's the more I get into it, the bigger the problem feels like it is, and the better the solution. I'm, a little biased. I love ITYDITY, but I really wouldn't keep it going. It's so hard to do. I mean, I built the platform myself. I'm 5 years in. This is my life now, and I wouldn't be doing it if it just didn't feel like the feedback is just, wow, this is so needed in the industry.
So this is your first, do you have any like business experience before this, or this is your first like foray into the business world and try and start something up on your own?
Yeah, definitely my first official like startup, but looking back, I was always an entrepreneur. And like I said, I was in artist producer matchmaking prior to this. So when I was living in Southern California, after my first few experiences being like, why is this so hard to do, get my songs produced, I went to school for music production, just like a trade school, Orange Coast College in Orange County, for 2 years. And then I started a meetup called Orange County Songwriters. We grew to be the largest meetup in Orange County for songwriters, and we would have like these competitions that were kind of like American Idol style, and then we would also like pair producers and songwriters in the studio and walk them through it and show them the equipment and talk about the terms. And then I started an indie label after that, and that was in Los Angeles, in Studio City. It was an indie label and artist collective, and I had a lot of roles, from the A&R role and going out and building relationships and scouting talent, and then also kind of being the legal liaison. And that's when I learned a lot about terms and for standard terms for contracts and production, things like that. We also just had a lot of parties. We had
events.
Yeah.
official company events. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my background, and how I got into this. I was always trying to start something and solve these problems, but I never really made it a true business, and definitely never on a tech platform or something that would be like globally scalable. So that's definitely different.
Yeah. No, I can see your company growing and growing and growing and growing. Because like you said, I think there's been such an emphasis on the independent artists getting distributed that they forget how to get to the point of needing distribution. And I think there's that big gap that I feel like ITYDITY is trying to fill, which is, how do you get your music ready for the next step, which is like that kind of distribution and getting it out there and stuff, because you have to have a master copy. You can't, unmixed songs sound unmixed. Like, good people that listen to music all the time are going to be able to tell, just based on even the vocal stems, like, oh, they didn't take the noise out of the background or so, like all of that little stuff. And that's what's so cool is I don't think I've ever seen anybody really emphasize that beginning stage. Because I've seen even just like new types of labels, like United Masters is a company that distributes, and they sort of do like placement, but it's almost like you guys would be a perfect marriage, it'd be like, because it's just the focus on the independent and then but them needing more resources. Like, I feel like they need to come over to you to find, you know, the correct people to work with outside of a bubble, because it's really hard to get outside of your bubble, even in any creative field, right? You know, like
Yep.
geography is a big part of pretty much anything. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to, like, if you have an idea, get somebody who actually has experience in that sound. Like if it's more Southern or a West Coast vibe, you find somebody there, and it's like, that's what's so cool. I'm just like really like impressed by the idea, and I look forward to seeing it continue to grow. Really, that's, you know, just a comment.